Over the generations, Stisted in North Essex has accumulated a variety of quirky domestic building styles. The candy-stick chimneys are a sweet topping for trifles of half-timbered fancy work, which tries, but not too hard, to look older than it is. This coating of antiquity is complementary to some really old building, which ironically looks quite recent. These hefty Victorian houses, ballasted with pebble dash, held down with a canopy of thick tiles and braced with massive timbers, were the last exercise of a squire's whim. Since they were built, the lordship of the manor has passed to the local authority, and taste hasn't been left to chance. It's become a smooth blend of refined regulations, flavoured by the college education of architects and mixed according to market requirements and permitted population density. Whatever the density, though, there seems to be room to spare in the churchyard. All Saints stands a little way off, just far enough for city villains to strip lead from the roof one night, unheard, unseen. Just inside the lich gate, look down. There's a knee-high memorial to the man who's buried there, an echo in miniature of the pinnacle of his achievement in life. To see what? Turn round and look up. A joke in Jacobean style. The author probably didn't intend them to be amusing. He meant them to be all of a piece with the roofs they stand on, like a Fair Isle pullover in a single colour. He very likely wouldn't find the aerials funny, pinned on like brooches, even though they afford the people who live beneath them the first chance they've had of a close-up look. He'd say that such detail wasn't designed anyway to be seen that near.
They're nice, aren't they, those chimneys, what you might call Stisted's crowning glory. They're actually the work of a chap called Thomas Watts, not a native of Stisted. He was imported in the 1830s by the then squire, Saville only. And Watts actually built this row of houses here, and another of his characteristic building designs was these wooden barge boards. It was a bit of self-indulgence on his part. It was a design called Cobweb. But if you look at the chimneys again, you'll see that each of them is a different design to its neighbour. It's a pity that that sort of self-indulgence doesn't prevail in modern building style. After all, you know, at least they're fun.
Stisted Hall, seat of the Lords of the Manor once. The County Council owns it now, and it's home for old people who are a bit past caring completely for themselves. With public ownership, the prospect from the portico might have been changed with the building of houses, but it should remain forever green. The cost to the old folk is the minor hazard of a badly sliced ball, fortunately exhausted by the time it gets near the house. Braintree Golf Club takes a pride in high standards. The pro is there to show how it's done and sell the gear to do it with. Practice, 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 and keep the eye on the ball. The advice of old hands who've driven, chipped, putted and bunkered for decades is traded over teacups. And there are little encouragements to better play.
We have some balls to give away. When Bird wins 2 balls for her medal play.
Watch, girls, this takes years of practice. This is the home of the Upson family. It used to be a pub. The sign outside is a smart translation of Red Lion. The plate with the date is an appropriate sort of symbol for what's going on here now. It started with Lucy Upson's problems while getting over a back injury. They set her thinking about a freelance Meals on Wheels service. Not charity, but food by phone at a sensible price for people who can't cater for themselves. And now the vans go for miles. One item unlikely to figure in a dialed meal is Linden Lady chocolate. This is luxury, handmade by Colin Grant. True, there is some mechanisation, but only in the sense that a dressmaker might use a sewing machine. The materials he uses are the silk and satin of confectionery. Colin's place is out of the village, not easy to find, unless you refer first to the map in the local shop.
We bought the cottage 10 years ago, and after a while we thought it'd be nice to go to work here as well as live here, so we applied for permission for cottage industry. And the local planning authorities have granted it with full blessing.
A cottage industry in the sense of actually working within the cottage, or working straight away, as you now do, in what used to be a garage?
As we now do, yes. We had the garage converted, and 6 months later we had to double the size, more planning permission, full blessing again. So we're very pleased.
Did you find that the local authority responded with enthusiasm to such an idea?
Very much so, yes.
Why do you think that was?
Well, I don't know. I think it must help to keep a village alive if it's got industry in it. Although it's very small industry, I don't like to think of it as industry. But if you fill a village with commuters, the place is dead during the day.
That's true, it becomes a mere dormitory.
Yes.
Anyway, you've reduced the business of commuting to a fine art insofar as you commute about 10 yards to the cottage industry.
To find chocolate being made at all deep in the English countryside is a rare thing, and it's just as rare to find an Englishman who's a master at chocolate. Colin was trained in basic food technology in Sheffield, but to master chocolate, he had to sit at the feet of the Swiss and the Dutch. It's not just the quality of the chocolate itself which is the concern of the chocolatier. The way it goes with the confection it's enrobing is just as important. Some combinations work better than others. The combination of colleagues here works better than most. They're related. Colin and his wife and her brother and sister. They're surrounded day after day by dark temptation. And yes, they own up to giving in occasionally. All of them. Wouldn't you? The dents they make in the output, limited as it is, aren't enough to affect the supply to the small and exclusive range of shops and restaurants they serve. Anyway, they're demonstrating their own belief in what they're making.
The way we make chocolate, we make to a high standard. There's no secret. We just use good quality ingredients. The labour costs are the same. Just we pay a bit more for our ingredients and produce we think, a better art for a more discerning public. But we're only in a very small way. We're only making chocolates for a few people.
Ah, that's the practice of the chocolatier. What I'm trying to get at is something a bit deeper, the actual art of it.
Well, chocolate making is a very complex subject. It's not the easiest material to work with. So many things can upset it. Temperature is most critical. So really, it's a devotion. It's not so much, it's an art, I suppose, but you've just got to love chocolate and love working with it as a material.
From cottage industry in a converted garage to cottage industry in a modified dame school, the tiny, grandly named Stisted Academy. Jeremy and Christina Henshaw run a print shop here. In the old days, though still in living memory, children paid twopence a week to be taught to read and write, copying copperplate letters till the pen slipped from the fingers. Silkscreen duplicates perfectly without any effort. They don't just print here, they can take the job from original design through all the processes to finished product. Self-adhesives is the name of this game. Labels and badges to announce and instruct. Peel them off, stick them on. It's the bill poster's nightmare. They worry the steel industry too. When did you last stick a pin in your coat on Flag Day? The Henshaws found a commission right on their doorstep, or at least just up the street, the local pub. The only pub. The only Arms, named for the former lords of the manor. Hence the stickers to be seen on local cars. The only pub for me.